Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's exciting episode, what are we going to be discussing this week?
We are discussing 1988's Night of the Demons, directed by Kevin Tenney.
I don't know. I saw it when I put it on last night, and I was like, good luck, Jake, because that's your job.
Sounds right.
Yes, this is another fan-requested episode from our longtime fan, Courtney. So thank you, Courtney, for requesting an episode this week. We appreciate you so very much. But before we get into this episode, what would we like to let anyone new to the J Squared Horror Podcast know?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
Also find us on Spotify.
We're on there.
We're on Apple.
We are.
And we're still on Google.
Not for long. I got an email the other day.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, forever, Instagram.
Yes.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and do the most original horror podcast out there. The reason we consider ourselves the most original horror podcast out there is because we are not information-based at all. We are purely communication-based, meaning, do you like talking with your friends after a horror movie?
Yes.
Do you like arguing with people in public about different horror movies?
Yes.
If that's the case, then you will love our podcast because that is all we do here. We give you a little synopsis or kind of walk through the movie depending on how the movie is, how long it's been since it's come out. And we talk all things about the movie, including ourselves, our lives, our friends, our families, everything like that into our podcast. But what we also do is fan-requested episodes like this one. We also do live and in person. You can be on the podcast if you go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You can request to put an episode out like this one.
Just like this one.
Or you can request to be on the episode live and in person like CII Jones, like Ross Goodman. You guys can join the J Squared Horror Podcast in the studio for an episode. What I'd also like to mention is we are a part of the Darkcast Network. I know, it's pretty awesome that we're a part of that podcasting network. If you like dark, independent, strange, crazy, true crime, horror, you're going to love the Darkcast Network. They have been supporting us for quite some time now, so we would like our fans to go out and support them. We release episodes every Thursday. They have content creators putting out content all week long. So if you want to, go check out the Darkcast Network. You can find them by looking at Darkcast Network on Google. You can find them through our page, I'm pretty sure. But just go support those guys because they've been awesome to us. They are super great. So please, please, please go support the Darkcast Network because they've been supporting us. Now, Night of the Demons is a 1988 classic horror movie, I guess, because of its age. It's classic in that capacity.
So I feel like you only put the word classic next
If
to
it's
like
legitimately a classic.
good movies.
Okay. So it's a 1980s horror movie. Right?
Not a fan?
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I just, off of your definition of where you should say classic horror, I don't give this one that nod,
Okay.
personally. How about you? Is this in your classic horror from the 80s pile?
So I feel like the 80s to like any decade, there's different portions of it.
Yeah.
So you got early 80s, obviously, mid 80s, late 80s. I would consider this the late 80s
Well, 88, yeah.
horror classic. Yeah, I would.
Oh, you're going to consider it a classic.
I would, yeah.
How many times have you watched this movie?
Twice.
Okay. First time being?
I'm 33 now.
Mm-hmm. You are. Old man.
Maybe 15, 17 years ago.
Okay. And you watched it the second time because we're doing an episode on it.
That is correct.
And throughout the history of the J Squared Horror Podcast, we all
boy.
know that movies that
Oh,
you
boy.
enjoy you watch regularly throughout the year, multiple times, sometimes a year or just sometimes like once a year. Like if it's a top tier movie for you, a classic, if you will, you are known to watch these movies multiple times during the year. Now, being that this is a movie that you consider a classic, which means you consider it up there. You've only seen it twice. Once 15 to 16 years ago.
Okay.
And this time only because we're covering it on the podcast.
So your next question may be, would I watch it again?
We'll get there. I'm not gonna ruin that for the fans quite yet because
right.
we got to kind of get into the meat of the movie.
All right.
In my opinion, this movie is fine. It's not something you're gonna like rant and rave about. Like personally, for me, Demons, I will rant and rave about.
Demons is a superior movie.
Okay, so I feel like they're comparable. Do you know off the top of your head when Demons came out?
They're both classics.
Do you know when Demons came out? What year?
I would think mid-'80s.
Probably. I'm just gonna check real quick.
I'm gonna say 85, like right in the middle.
I didn't even type it out right. Demons movie. Isn't it just called Demons?
Yeah.
1985. So right in the middle. Yeah, right
I
in
was
the middle.
right. Look at that.
So this one came out 3 years prior to Night of the Demons. And they're not comparable at all other than the fact that they are 80s horror movies, meaning the way it's shot, the sound. I got to say, though, just real quickly, the soundtrack of this movie is fucking dope.
It gave me the same vibe.
Gave me the same vibe. Also gives me, like, Jason Takes Manhattan because of, like, the super 80s.
Oh, a fucking horror classic.
Yeah, no, that music is great. But I did enjoy the 80s music dive right out the gate. And the intros, the title or whatever that shit's called, where like the names are scrolling past, was entirely too long. It was like clip art after clip art song. And I'm just like, dude, can we get past this so I can get in the movie? Movie's not long.
It gives you that Halloween vibe, though.
It does.
Halloween this season, not the movie, obviously.
Yeah, Halloween the season, because this is another happened on Halloween night movie, which I was excited about when I found that out.
Of
Which
course.
you know right out the gate
Yeah.
when that fucking title card finally clears, that's what's going on in this movie. Now, before we get into the movie, also I just want to say how'd you watch it? I watched it with AMC Plus, I do believe. That was included in one of my additional subscriptions.
Same thing.
Okay, so if you guys want to watch it, if you don't have AMC Plus, it might be a couple bucks. If not, it's free.
Sorry, no YouTube for you this time, guys.
Yeah, sorry. But
Or a freebie.
if you don't want us to ruin this 1988 classic, as Jake calls it, please pause us. Go enjoy this like hour and a half movie, hour and 30-something minutes.
You also said classic at first, though.
I did. And then you gave me the definition
as
of
we
what
say.
you thought a classic was, and I immediately retracted my statement. No,
This ain't it.
go watch it, because I feel like contextually for this episode, you'll be able to get a little bit more out of it than if you just listen to us. But also, as we know, fans of the J Squid Horror Podcast like listening to us first and then going to check it out based on our rankings or our ratings of it and our walkthrough and our talks about it. So for new fans, buckle in, because we're about to get into it. All right, here we go. Old guy at the beginning,
Okay.
right? Why is he a character? Is this something that I don't understand because I wasn't around in the 80s?
So I feel like
Truthfully.
he reminded me of, and probably wasn't at all what they were going for, but he just reminded me of Mr. Wilson from Dennis to Menace.
Oh, yeah.
Just his character vibe.
Yeah.
And
Just hatred of kids.
yeah, and hatred of, and they were giving him a hard time at first.
Well, they prank him right out the gate. That's the opening scene of this movie.
He's like,
There's Sal.
he's fucking.
Wasn't that
kid.
Sal with the rat?
Yeah, hung it over
his head,
Yeah.
made him drop his groceries. I'd be pissed though. So that's the other thing. It's funny to watch as a now in his 30s, thinking of some little punk ass kid scaring me with my paper bag of groceries and me dropping all my groceries on the ground.
Also, why not just use plastic bags?
Well, I don't know. It's the 80s, man.
You have a preference?
No.
Paper or plastic?
Well, no, I do have a preference. Plastic, because the paper bags last about 2.5
Yeah,
seconds.
they're bullshit.
And also, they fill them entirely too much.
Way too much.
Because they're way too tall.
Yeah.
And then, like, cashiers don't know, like, etiquette.
Have you ever seen someone trying to double up a paper bag?
I had to do it when I worked at
They're
a
trying to
fucking
fucking
grocery store, dude.
Stuff it in there.
Because
and
people are like, can I get paper? I'm like, yeah, of course. Can you double bag these? No, the fuck, I
you
can't.
Want, you want plastic instead?
Can you just double bag it yourself while I'm
Yeah.
ringing up your order?
Yeah.
Also, like, I have a certain etiquette at grocery stores. I put my stuff in order of how I want it bagged. So it'll be like, vegetables, boxed items, canned items, cold items, meat items,
try
and
to-
then like my
try to-
soaps or my
Yeah.
whatever. I try to, and then they just do whatever the fuck
As
they
I'm
want.
pulling it out the cart,
I'm like, ooh.
I'm grouping it how I want it back.
They never do that. They never do.
They just scan, stuff. There you go.
It's like they're supposed to have blue bags for cold shit. I got my fucking cereal boxes in there. I'm like, what the fuck?
So Food Lion, they tend to ask for your milk.
Yeah.
You want it in a bag?
Yes.
You say yes or no?
Every time.
Okay.
Because I hate the condensation that milk bottles get.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like it.
Okay.
And also when I'm doing my bag grab, because I'm a one-trip guy, I'm a one-tripper.
Me too.
So if you have the handle, it doesn't work with my scooping technique that I use to get all my groceries in.
When I was a kid and we would get groceries out the car,
Yeah.
I would always do everything I can to make it one trip.
I still do to this day.
I'd put it on my arms.
Oh, yeah. You got rings, like it's cutting off the circulation and
Yeah.
your shit. Yeah.
But you got to make it up there.
You have to.
Once I come back in here, I'm done.
Unless there's like a 24 pack of waters that you have to come back for, or like one of the massive ass toilet paper bags
Oh, yeah.
or like things, you're good. But so he gets he gets spooked, and then that's a character that you find out later on in the movie. But the one thing I will say is I wasn't around in the 80s, so I can't speak on behalf of the 80s, but I felt like this was very accurate of the style of people that were around in the 80s, like the old man that's grumpy about younger folks. That guy would have probably been born in like the fucking 30s or some shit. You know what I mean? So like,
Probably, yeah.
then the brother, like asshole brother,
Yeah.
doesn't want to sit, but also makes some very weird comments about her boobs. Being a little brother,
Yeah.
I am a little brother.
So I did think that was very interesting, but that's me looking at it as of like right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think it was very accurate
Yeah.
of what the times were like then, which is cool because it kind of takes you out of 2024 and puts you in the 80s, so you don't come at this movie as like maybe aggressively, if you will,
Like,
or as
why
judgmental.
is your brother a fucking creep?
Yeah, why is he hiding in your closet until you take your clothes off
Yeah.
and then commenting immediately on your breasts?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking weird. I can guarantee you I've never done that in my 32 years of life. So maybe it's a good thing
Neither
I
have
wasn't
I.
born in
Yeah.
the 80s, so I
Yeah.
was, or born in the 60s, so I wasn't a weird kid in the 80s or whatever.
You be talking about your sister's tits all the time.
No, that's weird, dude. He makes multiple comments on it throughout the movie, throughout his little portion of the movie. But it also does it starts to paint the picture of like what these characters are. And we always talk about it on the podcast, redeemable characters, characters we liked, or, how the characters are painted, obviously being that it's a movie. You want to pick up on that so you can enjoy who dies, who doesn't die, who survives, who dies, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the what they're painting as the final girl immediately out the gate, I'm already out. Like, I clocked out as soon as I met her.
Dude, literally all those characters suck.
No, that's not true. Sal was the most redeemable character, considering how he started versus how he ended. So, like, it's so ironic that, like, the douchiest douchebag Italian guy
Yeah.
ends up being my most redeemable character based on actions and what happens to him. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, I'm excited to talk about it during the podcast, but at
Okay.
the same time, it's like he's a shitty character. Like, if you watch the first 20 minutes of this movie, you think I'm a fucking bigot, like, out the gate, because, like, you haven't seen what he does at the end. So it's like his arc is actually the best, because there's a point that I wanted to make once we got into it, but we don't walk through movies anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck into it.
Get to it.
Is that the one thing about this movie that, like, it's weird because, like, I like it in a certain capacity, but I think I dislike it more, is I like a little bit of reality and enough fiction to make it scary. I guess that's what I look for in horror movies, especially in the 80s, because you have so much to go off of and compare to. So, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, the fact that Freddy Krueger kills you in your sleep is, like, really fucking far-fetched, but the way they present it and do it is very well done. Whereas this movie, you immediately get this, oh, I've heard the one guy that's dressed as a nurse has all this information on this land where they go to have this Halloween party. And I just don't get it. I don't get how the gate disappears, how it's like impossible to escape. Like those are things that you can't logically explain to me. So like for that shit, it like really took me out of the movie. Because most horror movies, and like I said, even Nightmare on Elm Street being that like you're in a dream world, so like because you're asleep, you have the disadvantage of not being able to survive. But in this one, they're like well awake. And this shit is still happening to where it's like impossible. Like you're creating impossibilities. And so it's not scary to me anymore because it's like, okay, no one can survive
It's
this.
too unrealistic.
It's very unrealistic. And that really I found out with this one, it really takes me out of it.
So my understanding of the movie is, it's not, so I guess it's a funeral parlor, right?
Yeah, it's some type of mortuary type vibe, funeral home. That was closed down for years because a family died or people died there.
Yeah. So,
but also has history.
The funeral home itself, is what is possessed,
according to Angela.
Yeah,
Angela. Yeah.
So it's not like it's ghosts inside or anything, or like it's it's not haunted
because they make that
it's possessed.
Yeah, they make that such a prevalent point during the party aspect of this movie, which is like kind of painting the picture of the rest of the movie. Yes.
So to that makes me more able to understand or comprehend or allow shit like being far-fetched.
Because the house is the land is possessed.
Exactly. And when people are possessed, they do shit.
They do wild shit.
Exactly. If the house is possessed, it can do fucking anything.
So how do you feel Amityville compares to something like this? Because I feel like that house was possessed or Poltergeist, for instance. Those are both home possessed movies, which is immediately what would pop into my head, being that we are horror connoisseurs and horror podcasters and horror fans.
So
both of those are escapable.
I enjoyed Poltergeist.
Yeah. I mean, we covered it. If you guys go back in the analogs of J Squared.
So I am okay with the concept of the land. So I guess in that movie, the land was possessed. Or not possessed, but
it was just an Indian burial ground, which
on top of a cemetery or whatever.
Which made it a possessed land.
Yeah. But the house itself didn't do anything crazy.
No.
It was just underneath the house.
But it also makes it damn crazy to get out of. I'm not against it being crazy to get out of.
Yeah.
I just don't like impossibilities. And this movie painted it as damn near impossible until almost at the end.
Because it makes it appear that no matter what happens, no one's going to live.
Yeah.
No one's going to get out.
It takes me out of it.
So in that way, it would take you out of it.
Yeah.
And you see, there's no real end besides death.
Yeah. And even though that's not what you get at the end of this movie, I don't really care. Because I've already clocked out.
So even though it painted that picture in your eyes, but you got a different result,
it doesn't matter.
You're still not happy with it.
Because you still have to get through that third of that movie. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to get... The one thing that I like, and the one thing that I thought this movie was going to do, is the black lead, the black main character, I was super pumped on him being like the first one that's like, I am fucking out of here. My dad was a pastor. I know exorcisms. I know that this shit is bad news bears.
Yeah.
And he not only escapes, but tries to take someone with him. And like is willing to like help them get out as well. And I feel like if them two would have escaped right out the gate, I might have enjoyed this movie a little bit better. Because I just don't... Also, you don't understand what happens to that girl. Everything that happens to her is completely off screen, never mentioned, never talked about. You don't see who did it, what did it, how it happened.
To which girl?
The girl that gets dropped on his car. She just vanishes into thin air, and then 20, 30 minutes later gets dropped on a car, which doesn't make sense to anything that has happened in this movie at all.
But if you remember, when they see it in the mirror, it's her face pushed up against it. So it's like, it tells you, hey, something's going to happen. I guess I what you're saying. You don't see it happen.
Yeah. But also, like, that entity never really did any killing. It possessed.
Yeah.
So, like, I would rather have it seen, like, even at
John Kramer.
Yeah. Even at the end, though, it's like, you see it, they'd be, like, pissed off.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then it, like, vanishes into,
Yeah,
like,
you could have fucking did more of that.
I feel like you could have done more, or at least shown that like when they did the Evil Dead camera, like when it escapes from the crematorium.
Yeah.
Like I was okay with that. Like I was like, oh fuck yeah, they're picking up on things that were put down already, and like that camera is really cool. It's that POV, quick moving shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with all of that.
I am too.
I love that. I thought that this one did it in a manner of like what the movie was and like how like it followed the seance to where it came from to then it going into the room of people and getting somebody. Like I was so cool with that. I was like, this is all making sense. And of course it possesses the girl from Night of the Living Dead. So I want to correct myself real quick because I'm pretty sure on Night of the Demon or on Demons, I said that this was that girl. I was wrong. The punk rock girl in that movie was not Diane Quigley or Linnea Quigley. I'm sorry. I misinformed you guys. This is the girl from Night of the Living Dead that I was talking about, or what was the shit we covered with the zombies in the
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. Sorry. So I did misinform you guys on that episode. I mixed the two up based on talks with Courtney.
What was it? Return of the Living Dead.
Return of the Living Dead. Thank you. Return of the Living Dead. The red hair, the boobies, of course, because that's what she's known for, I guess.
You're a booze around this one. That's weird.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Thing of lipstick.
Yeah, whoop, right in the nipple.
That made no fucking sense.
There's a lot in this movie that doesn't make sense. But I feel like a lot of it, like it would be like moments of like pure fucking horror excitement of like you're using shit that clearly, because I'm pretty sure Evil Dead predates this. I think it's 86, I do believe, is when Evil Dead came out. That's just a rough guess.
I thought it came out earlier than that.
I don't have a problem with you using elements of success.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about this one, at least 2 have come out already.
Yeah, so, yes, 81 and then 87.
Yeah.
So 2 had come out. So you're using stuff that has been successful, and I'm okay with that because it's a demon movie. So, like, and so is Evil Dead. It's a possession movie. So you're using, like, things that you saw, like, Sam Raimi do. And, like, of course you're going to fucking copy it because it was, like, iconic.
So it 100% gave me the vibes of Demons, like mentioned before.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead.
For sure. Those are the 2 movies.
Yeah.
While you're watching this movie, from prosthetic makeup to camera shots to storyline, it gives you all of those vibes.
Yeah, it's just, how the demons look.
That's what I'm saying. The prosthetically makeup. Yeah.
How it's, I don't want to say transferred, but how each person gets infected per se.
Basically, yeah.
Just their interaction with that person then brings them back as a demon as well.
Yeah. And also, you know, this one did something slightly different where the girls kiss, and that's how it transferred, which is a first for me in these types of movies. For me, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head where demon possession is shared by
transfer
smooches.
by kissing. I think of that.
But it was interesting because those 2 girls were the party setter-uppers, and those are the 2 that eventually were the 2 main demonesses, if you will. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's because those movies existed and did it so much better. I don't know, because I know it going into it. I didn't know that that's what this movie was like, not copying, but using as inspiration. But I feel like, you know, you do all of that, and then the end product is what we get, I guess, is what really bummed me out, because, you know, you have something that did so much better in comparison to it. And that sucks because, you know, even if I think, honestly, if I would have watched this in 88, I'd probably be a little bit more upset because those other 2 had just, you know, the other movies I'm thinking of off the top of my head were, you know, within 10 years.
I mean, yeah, because at that point, you're a year after the sequel to Evil Dead.
Yeah, and you're also, you know, a couple years out from Demons.
Yeah, like this is the same shit.
Yeah, so, and it's kind of like the when the early 2000 or the it was the 90s, right, or 2000s when we got all those like similar cinematographies.
90s,
yeah, 90s or like late 90s, early 2000s movies where everything just looked like Scream for a long time, and they went with that. And of course, you're going to use what was successful at that time to try to make something better, but it doesn't always happen, and this is a prime example of that. And it's not a shot at the movie, even though it is. It's not like I'm saying like they shouldn't have done it. I'm just saying, you know, maybe try to put your own creativity in it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything else about this director. It's the only thing I've ever heard of. I'm sure if we researched it, we would know more, but that's not what this podcast is about.
Well, I know there's 2 sequels.
Yeah, there. I would love. I kind of would watch the second one at this point.
So I like the Angela character.
Angela is
That's one with the dark hair.
the main or the second demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the witch.
So I liked her character.
You didn't feel like her dance monologue was a little too long?
No.
You
Honestly,
enjoyed that, didn't you?
I did enjoy
You
it.
little freak.
I did enjoy it.
She's just
I did enjoy it.
with what's his name? What's that fucking fat guy's name?
Pig?
What was his name though? It was like damn it. It's like Scrooge or some shit.
What, was it Scrooge?
I don't know.
It
Something
wasn't
like
Scrooge.
that. Something like that. The pig. The pig.
Yeah,
the
pig.
punk rock pig.
Yeah.
With the mullet and the anarchy shirt on.
Yeah. I like this little.
With the nice little striped colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, this dude is.
It's
fucking
funny though,
good.
because like what I gotta figure out his name real quick because what's funny is like I did a fair amount of like looking at the names last night because there's only like 5 fucking people you have to remember in this movie, and of course I didn't. IMDb, baby, greatest app in the world. No, I'm not gonna rate this movie. Get out of here. I'm about to, but not yet. His name was. It's not gonna pop up. Stooge. We were close. Stooge. Judy, was that the main girl? The heroine? Billy?
Probably, yeah.
Who the fuck was
in
Billy?
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, Billy's the douche. And then Suzanne, which was Leanna Quigley. Angela. And Franny. Oh, Franny was that Asian chick. Got her neck bent. Stooge was a great character. And it's funny because I feel like I probably would have went out like Stooge if I was at an 80s Halloween party single as he was.
Yeah.
Like I don't question any of his antics
I don't either.
or any of his like question making abilities. Like I'm like, dude, it's the like as far as like personal relating to Stooge, like 100%. I just want my music, I want my alcohol, and I want my women. Especially like, you know, you're a single guy at an 80s Halloween party. And that's the thing though. I just want to say real quick, if you are at all into like 80s and like dance kind of like parties and like smaller groups, not as big as like Take Me Home Tonight or anything like that, but like this movie does a fun fucking job about that. And it's like a very realistic, like 6 people got invited to this party, 6 people go to this party, and then crazy things happen, which reminded me of, what was the one at the high school where they go back that we covered? You know what I'm talking about.
Fuck.
You know what I'm talking about.
I
It
do.
reminded me of that a little bit too.
What was it? High school?
It was
Fuck.
Marty. Well, Marty.
Yeah, no,
what
yeah.
fucking Marty? What the fuck was that movie? We covered it. It kind of gave me the vibes of that though.
Okay,
I can't think of the name of the movie right now. But it's like, you know, a small group of close people, or at least people that know each other, especially from the same high school, that all get put in the situation. So you're not really worried about like added characters or like other people coming in once the movie paints the picture of what's going on, which was cool. Because like the lead up to it, you saw multiple people in the world existing.
Was it
you know?
Slaughter High?
Yeah, Slaughter High, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds right, at least.
Yeah, Slaughter High.
If it's not, it should have been called Slaughter High.
It's something of that nature. But yeah, it reminded me of that one too. Which I'm almost positive predates this one as well.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was an early 80s one.
Yeah.
But, there's nothing wrong with it. And I guess my question to you now that I've kind of mentioned Stooge and how I related to him and what he did, who would you relate to the most in this movie, man? I guess that's a topic of questioning.
I would say probably
Stooge.
the same. Yeah.
Because it's really funny because he's like the bigger guy, and being that we're not the smallest guys on the planet.
Yeah.
And I was smaller in high school. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like
I was
as chunky
too, yeah.
as I am now. My mid 20s and later just got away from me, I guess.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens,
But it's funny because like he's this lovable kind of, you can tell like he has a rough life. And he's like the punk, and he's like that you just know him. He's the crazy one that does the cake stand. He's the crazy one that always tries to like fight somebody. Everybody knows a Stooge in their life. Like everyone knows a Stooge.
Yeah.
Stooge is like the the generational character. Like, no matter what generation you're watching this movie, you know a stooge. But also, he's innocent in the sense of, like, what his true intentions are. Meaning, you know what they are. Not innocent in nature, but innocent in you know it. And he gets invited to the bathroom by the hot girl who chooses him over the what would be hotter guy. Yeah. And for any bigger fella or any self-conscious fella, that's a moment.
This is it right there.
Of true inspiration. And I feel like they failed that scene. Like, all that fucking lead up for not that much to transpire.
What do you mean?
Nothing happens to him. He just gets spooked in the bathroom because you hear glass break and she's gone. He goes into the bathroom, assesses the situation, doesn't even pee, even though that was the whole reason of him being there. He really had to pee.
Sometimes you gotta pee. You don't.
Sometimes. Very true. Then he goes back and then eventually gets got by Angela.
Yeah.
I feel like that did a disservice to my boy Stooge.
So how would you have preferred that play out?
I don't mind it happening the same way it did, but with Quigley's character.
I agree.
I feel like it was wasted on him having to go all the way back to then see the dancing going on and then get his tongue bit off and possessed.
It should have been him following her directly into the bathroom and it happening right there.
Just like how she got the other guy, and like I understand that the sex appeal is what gets the demon. The demons use these two girls in particular for the sex appeal to get their demon sharing to happen. But I feel like it still would have worked better if he would have got in the bathroom and then Sal's character would have still ran away. And it would have been left a little bit more up to the imagination of what exactly was going on with Angela's character. Yeah. So that to me, I was like, why? Because everybody else, it falls pretty much domino.
Yeah.
Because the douchebag boyfriend gets turned down by the innocent girl. He goes then and gets got by her too. But you already know that that's going to happen because it happened to Stooge. Yeah. I don't know. And then that scene where it's like, you know, the douchebag character gets his eyeballs poked out. The one thing that pissed me off about that is they still did it better than Halloween Kills. I'm like, God damn, dude. Like, why can every other movie do it better than Halloween Kills did?
Yeah, and I had totally forgotten about that scene in Halloween Kills. Yeah.
Fucking Big John, Little John, bud.
Yeah.
That was Little John, man. Little John, what? Yeah, he's got fucking eyeballs ripped out, his head split.
Yeah,
but it just worked better. Then I will admit the lipstick part was a little weird.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. Mm-mm. And for a quick moment, it kind of took me out of the movie. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
and it's dumb for something so minor, so quick to like, I was like, why though?
Is it dumb though, or is it personal preference? You know what I mean? Like, where do we draw that line there?
Yeah, I mean,
like there are so many things. I told you what took me out of it is that the fucking black guy didn't survive. Yeah. I'm already out. You made it a lot farther than I did.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. Yes, but not how I wanted it to go.
I got you.
Yeah, I wanted him to get out of Dodge and not have to deal with anything else.
The fact that he survived though,
is insane.
Was okay. So we're getting towards the end now. So the point where they're using the barbed wire, to climb up the wall. Yeah. Do you think you could do that?
No.
Okay.
I know for a 100% certainty that I could not.
So no matter what was chasing you and what was happening, you couldn't do that.
Actually, it depends. I feel like I could, but the probability of me going back for that person depends on who they are.
Okay.
That's what I will say.
I thought the same thing.
Like if it's my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Or like somebody I love?
Yeah.
I'll hop back on the wall and try to get her.
Yeah.
I think fear-wise, I could probably get over the pain.
Yeah.
Because we're taller anyway. So, like, the amount of distance we have to go isn't as high as somebody else.
Exactly.
So, I feel like that. But I also feel like I would have gave it a valiant effort even if it was just a friend of mine. But I feel like if it was, like, my girlfriend or if it was you, like, I'm definitely going to hop back on that fence and try to get you.
I feel like after the first 3 grabs, you can determine if I can do it or not do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one, like, fuck, it's going to get you.
Also, both your hands are super bloody. Yeah. Super slippery situation.
After that third, like, where am I at right now?
Yeah. What should I do?
Yeah. Can I do this?
Which you do get a second to think about it because you're already free. Like you're over the wall.
Well,
like you're clear of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is this person worth it? You know? That girl would not have been.
And for a second, you're thinking, dang, he's not coming back for her.
I thought she was done, though, dude. I thought the final girl got.
I thought he was just fucking running down the street.
My dad warned me about this.
And he comes back, and he pulls her over.
Maybe he, like, got some leaves, dried his hands off a little, got the blood off.
Maybe went to the water hose.
Also, plot hole. How did he get back up the wall so easily on the other side?
No idea. No idea.
We'll just leave that to the imagination.
Or maybe that
there was like a hill, it wasn't as high.
Maybe that time of him being gone was him trying to get back over.
Yeah, but then again, like how? That other side would have been pretty smooth. I don't think the barbed wire would have been on the other side. That's the only reason they were able to escape on the other side. Maybe there's like a hill that was made it super short. Maybe the wall's not as tall on the outside because you're not trying to keep people out, trying to keep people in. Blah, blah, blah.
That could be.
Yeah, who knows?
We
don't know because the movie doesn't tell us.
Yeah, like he's back. Deal with it.
Also, Sal's character dies being a hero. I did like that because he was a douchebag from the get-go.
Yeah, so you liked his character arc.
I did. He gets yeeted off a building. Thank you. And I was shocked. I was shocked. Yeah, it's a while since I snuck in a yeet. I was shocked that he did get the rhubarb through the body or the metal through the body, and then his tombstone was accurate. That was kind of crazy. But, and it's like when everybody turns into the demons, I don't understand how some turn it on and turn it off. I'll leave that to the imagination of the beholder. Because, like, the one girl would, like, look old and, like, crazy dead, and then she wouldn't. She was the only one that pulled that off, that was able to do that. Because the Stooge and Angela's character just were fully possessed the entire time.
Yeah.
And then also the guy that got his arm ripped off and the Asian lady that were banging in the coffin, also super cool. I would. Well, actually, let me ask you that. Would you have sex in a coffin?
Boy. Well, the top is open, obviously.
Yeah, you don't have to close it. That's way too close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Top open. Same scenario. Girl on top open. Your girlfriend. You love each other.
Yeah.
She's into it. You're into it. No convincing needing to happen.
No.
No?
No, I don't think I would have her on top.
You would be on top?
Because
just bury her into the casket.
In my mind, my biggest fear would be her like either hopping off or getting snatched off and someone shutting that fucking coffin.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you're on top, the same thing could happen.
I'd die of a heart attack.
That's fine.
If I'm on top, I think we're good. I'm just going to fucking knock it on the ground or something. But
yeah, all right. But here's the one thing I will say is like, if you're on top, you're not thinking about what's going on around you, dude.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Very
like,
true.
we're adults here.
Yeah,
we've both been in situations.
I feel like if she's on top, I'm like, I couldn't be.
Yeah, but think about it. She's on top, right? You just have to stay just enough into it to get the job done. But also, you got the fucking vantage point, bro. You can see everything that's going around in the background, bro.
I don't trust it.
And worst comes to worst, and you can close that thing on yourself for all that matters. Keep yourself safe, depending on how in love you are in that situation. But she gets her neck bent.
I'm definitely not going to close it up myself.
Dude, I will. I'll fucking hold that thing tight so I'm not getting possessed.
No.
Yeah. Coffins are safety, in my opinion.
I can just feel it not being able to be open again.
But your claustrophobia gets the best of you. Yeah.
And then I'm in the fucking
You have a heart attack.
Yeah.
But you have a heart attack, you're still not possessed. You just die of natural causes.
That's true. Nah, I can't do it.
I could.
Unless that's exactly how I want it.
Yeah, that's true. I was just wondering if you could. I'm just asking, like take out Night of the Demons. Could you have intercourse in a coffin? Just opportunity presents itself. There's a coffin and the love of your life. Could you do it? No demons, no death, just coffin.
No demons, no death,
just coffin.
You have to on top though.
I don't care. I'm just saying the actual act of having sex in a coffin.
Yeah, I do it.
But it's not something you would like put on a kink list.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not something you would like request.
No. If I think of a top 100 things I want to do, it would not be on the list at all.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to like fucking funeral homes or anything like that.
Yeah, no. That's weird, man. That's weird. That's totally weird. Yeah, she gets her neck bent, and then he gets his arm smashed off by Stooge. And he somehow, but when they both pop out of the cat, it bummed me out because they just look like the actors and the actress, like throughout the rest of the movie. And the dude that gets his arm knocked off just looks like a tired actor. Just
he's just there.
Even in the epic scene of the girl trying to escape, like they pan to all the demons, and he's just.
Like, I'm still in this fucking movie.
Like in Shaun of the Dead, where they fake the zombies, you know, it's like a similar concept to me. But it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be that he was the demon and was fully possessed. So yeah, you have like different highs and lows of this movie. I didn't get scared a single time.
No.
We are both high consumers of horror though. So like the scared aspect doesn't really work for us anymore unless it's like a newer one that we haven't seen as far as like actual jumps. I feel like there's been, Hell House LLC Origins for you. Carmichael Manor, which is still the highlight of my life with you. That I got to see you be nervous in a movie.
Some of these fucking clowns.
Those fucking clowns, man.
I don't know.
But yeah, you have this one little bit of a scene that happens in the basement that didn't be needed. It didn't be needed. Jesus, Josh. It wasn't needed at all. I feel like it was a waste of time. Because I feel like if you're going to have that, the one thing that I was thinking, and tell me if you were thinking the same thing, I thought you had to trap them in there in order for it to end. I kind of like, of course you can say the Halloween night thing because it's the veil between both worlds is the thinnest it ever is.
Yeah.
I get that. That's fine and dandy. But I feel like you should have almost had to trap because that's where he came from. That's where he originated from.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you would have trapped them or like burned them from the gas from the crematorium, it would have worked. But that was just more or less a weapon of choice and something cool that she did because the lighter came back into play from earlier in the movie. Like, I get that.
Yeah, I agree. So I also wasn't a fan of the aspect that just, I guess you're still alive.
Yeah.
And now it's not Halloween
dawn.
anymore.
It's not Halloween anymore. Everything's over.
Yes, we're done.
I guess the gate opens back up. I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. It was definitely like a...
So I guess my thought is, do they come back
every Halloween?
Like next Halloween?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Or do you have to summon them?
I'm pretty sure I saw that Angela is in part 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which then makes less sense to me.
Because she wasn't even the original possessed.
Yeah.
It was.
So why you? What makes you so fucking special?
She broke out them dance moves, bro. And guys like you just, fully sent it.
Like, you know what? I'm bringing her back.
The next one.
I'm bringing her back.
I feel like she probably is more of the better actress of the two.
I would agree.
Yeah. That could literally be the reason.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
You can act. You're okay.
Yeah, go away. You put lipstick in your nipple. We're done with you.
Yeah,
that was all improv. Like, that was the magic trick that she knew. And the cameraman's like, fuck, I guess we're keeping it. Because that shit just happened. It's like in Hell House when the guy can really pop his eye out. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, she can make shit disappear in her nipple, and they're like, hired. We need you for this specific scene right here. Won't make any sense, but the fans are gonna love it.
That was good.
Yeah, and then ultimately, I guess if you guys can't tell, the girl Alice, that's not her name, but she was dressed as Alice. Alice in Wonderland and the pirate escape, and they get to see the demons turn to fog on November 1st. And you now know that, like Halloween, as long as you make it past Halloween night, you'll be okay.
You're good.
So keep that in mind. If anything crazy happens to you on October 31st any year, fight that shit through until dawn. All right?
Just stay alive.
Stay alive until dawn. You'll be fine. There's probably a plethora of things that we're missing. Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to bring up or mention?
Just the very end.
Okay. What about it?
With the old man and eating the apple pie.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I deleted that shit out of my head. Yeah, go ahead.
It makes no fucking sense.
No. Paint the picture for the fans, though.
All right, so early in the movie, when the guy is pranked, you see him holding an apple.
Yep.
And like a pack of razors.
Yep.
You find out that, like the urban legend, he's putting razors and candy and apples and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
In the movie, his wife, who obviously you can tell wanted him dead.
For some reason or another.
He's probably grouchy as fuck.
Very grouchy.
May say homemade apple pie.
Yes, which means she had to cut said apples.
Yeah, so she was fully aware they were in there. She asked him how it is. Yeah, it's okay. She goes, oh, you used to love my apple pies.
Yeah.
My homemade apple pies.
Homemade
And then Clifton said, homemade.
Apple.
Then you see the best kill in the movie. The fucking razor
Start just...
see it all in his throat.
Yeah.
And it just starts pouring out.
Yeah.
And then he hits the table. She stands there like, got his ass.
Yeah, literally. Like, she knew it.
Yeah. And then we're done.
Okay. 2 questions.
Yeah.
1, was she aware of the razor blades?
100%.
2, how did he not feel them while he was eating a soft apple pie? Have you ever eaten an apple pie?
I have.
It's a soft consistency.
Yeah. Also,
You would feel metal.
You'd also probably see it as you're cutting the pie.
For sure.
So
we're made to believe.
movie magic.
We're made to believe that she shredded these razor blades up fine enough to where he ate them. They recoagulated, rebuilt themselves in his esophagus. And then he then was able to consciously realize, oh shit, I ate the razor blade apples that I created for the kids for trick-or-treating, I guess.
Can I think, what is it, Halloween 2?
Yes.
The kid fucking bites into it and it's just in his mouth.
Yeah.
So how would you have taken apple pie,
Yeah.
put it in your mouth,
Yeah.
start to chew,
Swallow a couple bites.
and the razor does not be in your mouth?
Yeah. Also, you swallowed it, felt no pain until you realized. It was the realization
Well, you
of
know
like,
what?
wait, I put razor blades in these apples and I ate an apple pie made by my wife who clearly hates my fucking guts.
100%.
It's it seems very shared, the hatred of each other. But then like Jake says, it's like it turns. It like starts ripping his throat open. It's a great practical
The
kill.
blaze
I
like,
mean,
I want out.
yeah, it's like and then he just falls down on his plate. And she just walks up to him, gives him a smooch on the head, and that's the end of the movie. And you're just sitting back like, I know that's how it began, so like maybe that's how they felt like it had to end. Whatever, I'm not so mad about that part.
If I'll been okay if I had never seen that character again.
Here's the thing. I didn't realize that it was razor blades, all right, because I wasn't staring at the packaging in his hand, so I thought they went cobweb on this shit. I thought it was like rat poison that was like melting out his esophagus, and I was like, that makes
the way
sense.
it looks, yeah.
And then I see the razor blades, and I'm like, this fucking shit, like what the hell? Like it would have made way more sense if it was like a poisonous rat poison,
Yeah.
because you don't see it, you don't taste it, you eat the pie,
Yeah.
and it melts out your throat, and you die. Like I would have been fine with that, but the fact that they chose razor blades, which is a typical trope in Halloween, in like Halloween movies, Halloween style movies. So I understand why they did it. I'm not questioning why. I just felt like the final product was questionable at best.
It wasn't needed.
And then it's literally roll credit scenes of none of the actors and actresses. I guess that happened in the beginning in the really long part.
That's all
because
you
this
need.
was like production design 1, and I was like, oh shit, I can turn this off right now. Like there's no gonna be no post credit scenes,
Nope.
no nothing like that. All right, so we got through it. It was a fun movie to talk about,
Yeah.
but overall, on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate Night of the Demons from 1988?
On a scale from 1 to 10,
Yes, sir.
Night of the Demons is a 6.5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like it's obviously better than the average movie.
Okay.
Is it something I'll watch again? Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. We finally got
But
the answer we were all looking for
It's
since the
one of
beginning.
those movies, though, that I would put into that watching a group setting.
Yeah, watch it for fun. Watch it in a group.
I'm
Watch
not
it on
watching
Halloween.
that shit alone.
Yeah.
I'll
October.
watch it. Yeah, October. Friends over.
Yeah.
Watch it. Have
Drinks,
a good
J
time. Yeah.
squared.
Yeah.
J squared parties. We're going to throw on Night of the Demons.
Yeah. You guys come on out.
All right.
What about you?
I'm going 5.5.
Okay.
I agree. It's not below average, but
Yeah.
it's just barely above average for
I
me.
got you.
I don't
Okay.
go a full point above average for me. And it's really just because I love demons so much. And a lot of the other movies that I felt were troped into this or like included in this. So for those reasons alone, and the final product we got just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Demons and obviously Evil Dead that we covered, I both ranked
Way higher. Yeah.
But-
So I'm not questioning your ranking
Yeah,
at
but
all.
this is like just, I hate to say it, but the lower version
It is, yeah.
of those
Yeah,
movies.
it is. It's the lower version. It's the rush, almost rushed post those movies. It felt like, and I just, like you said, I would definitely watch it in a group setting. If we ever did like a live podcast night or something, it would definitely be one I would definitely throw up in the ring to be watched with a group of people. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I can understand why certain people like it. And honestly, we're both in our 30s, so we didn't see this movie when it came out. So if you are one of the many of our fans that could have potentially seen this come out, comment down below why you love this movie so much, and we'll definitely read it out next week on the podcast. Just so that our fans can hear other people's reasonings behind this movie, because obviously this is a fan requested movie, so somebody out there loves this movie.
Yeah.
And excuse me. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not a bad movie. It was actually a lot of fun to talk about. I'm happy we didn't shoot the shit too much before this episode, because I would have ruined it.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I will say we have no fucking clue what we're covering next week.
We'll figure it out.
I think we're going to take a small little break from the fan requests right now. We've been getting some in, but we just got to try to organize that to be the best that you guys can enjoy. Yeah. So it's not constantly this random array of movies that we've been doing. To those of you that listened to last week's episode, thank you so much. That was a little bit better than I anticipated. We kind of went on a wild ride there. So anybody that stuck through last week's episode, thank you so much.
Yeah, if you liked this regular podcast,
yeah, you would have enjoyed that one. So if you got through this one and you're wondering what shooting the shit sounds like, go back to Five Nights at Freddy's. It was crazy. I talked about Wendy's for like 10 minutes. Yeah, we have no idea, but we will definitely let you guys know. And if not, you'll know next Thursday what we're going to be covering.
Yeah.
As always, a humongous shout out to all of our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does all of our design work. I'm actually going to show Jake our newest design that just dropped today. Right now, for the first time ever, Jake is going to look at it. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see him react to this newest design that I just had perfected by Jeff Balance. This was supposed to be your Christmas present.
Will you do that on a sweatshirt?
I don't know what we're going to do it on yet, but this was going to be your Christmas present right here. You guys will have to wait around. It's right here on my screen, but you can't see it through my phone. What do you think, man?
I love it.
Pretty fucking rad, right?
I want that as my background now.
I'm going to send it to you, but that was your Christmas present.
I love that.
And the fans might get to see it. They might not. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. This is something that is the complete identity of the J Squared Horror Podcast. It's how we became friends. It's what we built our entire identity on: drinking, talking horror, and podcasting. It's a super rad design. If we decide to drop it, keep an eye out on our Instagram, like Jake mentioned earlier. It is.
We should get that on the Tumblr.
We should. It is. What's our Instagram?
J Squared Horror Podcast.
If we release that, it's going to be on our J Squared Horror Podcast. It might be on the website one day. Who knows? Might be on Tumblrs that are going to be available at the Tidewater Horror Convention this year.
Be there.
We're going to have some merchandise for the first time ever in a convention this year. So we're super excited about that. We're just trying to get everything buttoned up. A humongous shout out to Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music. You guys hear it every week if you stick around to the end. That is the super cool one that he did for us. That's kind of Huey Lewis and the Newsy. It's a lot of fun. Lucky Riggs knocked it out of the park. Jeff Balance always knocks it out of the park. Big shout out to all you guys that support us. A humongous shout out to Jake, being the world's greatest co-host I could ask for.
Thank you.
I say co-host, but you all know he's just as equal as me on this podcast. He is my host with the most, and our fans love him. If anything, I should be the co-host, honestly. Our fans love him. If you guys love Jake, let us know in the comments down below why you love him, how beautiful he is, and all of those things right there. Jake, is there anything you want to mention before we sign off tonight?
Just honestly, then I love that.
The new design is amazing.
The new design is great.
Yep.
Also, want to say thank you for you guys who went out and started either sharing or watching our Hell House episode.
Yes, where's it at?
Commander 982.
All right, guys,
we're 18 away.
18 away from 1,000. We'd love to see that at 1,000. So after you finish this episode, go back and watch Carmichael Manor. Share it with your friends. Share this episode with your friends. We're just trying to get out there in front of everybody, man. We have a really good time doing this podcast.
Yeah, we do.
What's better than drinking and talking horror, guys?
Nothing.
Tell me. If you know,
tell me right now.
If you know what's better than drinking and talking horror, let us know down below. If you would rather an information-based podcast, let us know down below. We'll tell you to kindly see your way out.
Yeah, we'll tell you where to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
Have a great week. And remember, it's hip to be squared.